Okay, let's try this again. Welcome back to the show. We had some alarms going off the first go around here in the intro, but we're glad to see you back. I'm back. Yes, we missed you the other week. Do apologize for that. But we actually had the show completed. We just were unable to get it up to the channel, to the network for you to view. We try not to miss the show because there's so many of you that absolutely let me know and miss the show every Saturday, and this has definitely become your thing on Saturday mornings. We do appreciate that because without you, obviously we have no show. Okay, so I'm going to read the comments on this time around on the cell phone. Yes, we're going to rough it from the cell phone because we don't have the laptop and everything up, so which makes it tough. I don't do a whole lot with the cell phones, but this is what I got to work with right now. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read the comments again. Here we go. Jeffrey Richardson says, "Yes, sir. Love the old VHS tape day. You sir also have a great day. Thanks for sharing this with us." Yes, I am from the VHS tape day era. I was probably part of the last ditch of the generation of that. That was our thing. Videotape rental stores. The Nintendo system, the Super Nintendo, all that kind of stuff. That was just a new hot item on the market, and going around, it was a far cry from Duck Hunt. And that was the thing, was going there, renting stuff and bringing it home and checking it out. And we didn't have a ability to look things up on the internet. Even though it was there, but it wasn't. I don't think it was as what it is today by far. How we found out about stuff was reading magazines, or I remember seeing all the people at the local gun range in town reading Shotgun News and everything. So that's the way things were done. Analog, very analog. I miss it. Please be kind and rewind. All right, we got one here from Beretta 9mm USA. Great guys over there. Wonderful channel that they have. Probably the highest quality videos on 1911s that exist on YouTube. I don't watch a whole lot of too many gun channels anymore because of the drama and politics, but I really do like what Beretta 9mm USA is doing over there, because they steer away from that and just really give you the meat and potatoes and truth of videos and products. So cool, really cool team to Beretta Sr. and his son, my fellow left-handed shooter. Okay, it says here from them, "Hi, Batjack JW. I enjoyed the show today. Your honesty is so great and on point." I do appreciate that. I try to keep it real. I'm not here to lie to anybody or say a product is good when it's not. I don't see the point in that. Although there are some people that do that. I enjoyed my sheriff's office retirement for almost 1 full year. I'm back to work now, but I only plan to do it for 3 more years until my wife retires. You all stay safe out there and enjoy your weekend. That's from Beretta Sr. Well, I can say this. I can say, that's 3 more years of more safety out there, because you're back out on the watch. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate all the years you put in keeping our community safe and keeping everything in check. Please be safe out there. There's a lot of crazies. It's definitely turned, but I know with you being out there, we are going to be a lot safer, at least in where you're at. So, but please be safe and take care of yourself there, sir. But and we're probably going to see some really cool stuff coming out from you. I always look forward to seeing what else they pump out there on the channel. I may not comment all the time, but I'm watching them. All right. Slimfire, morning JW, and I am glad you are enjoying your new Colt. Nice to see all the great comments and the awesome grips. My wife and I were big fans of Stephen King. She read and purchased a lot of his books, and we saw a lot of the movies. Have a great weekend, Slim. Yes, I used to live in Colorado, and My first real big book I ever read was a Stephen King book. It was The Shining. I read it in I don't know, was it 6th grade or something. But that was my book of choice. Fell in love with Stephen King. Just the way he writes, his books are just awesome. At least the early ones. His newer stuff, I'm gonna say, just flat out, not really too big of a fan of it. I really like his old classics. I can read them over and over again. But living in Colorado, definitely when you have that kind of landscape and that kind of backyard, which I do miss, it's really special. You can tell where you can. Once I lived in Colorado, I could see what he was describing. I mean, living there was like living in one of his novels, the good side of it, right? But no, I remember first time I picked up The Regulators. If you've not read The Regulators, I read The Regulators and I was like, whoa, I couldn't put that down. I think I read that in the afternoon while I was on a slow day at my shop that I had back in Hawaii. All right. So here we go. Bohemian Hunting Club says, good morning, JW. Pet Cemetery is pretty good. They did a good job on a remake too on the first one. Yes, I saw the remakes. Not bad. I didn't hate them. People were like, I remember seeing all the reviews on them. Even the new one, what is it, Bloodlands or something? That was not bad. It was enjoyable. It kept you entertained. So it was not bad. It's hard to replace. What's the guy, the original guy? I always know him as Herman Munster. It's hard to replace him. Although, what is his name? John Lithgow did a pretty good job. But you can't beat the original. All right, gun enthusiasts. That's my brother over there in Texas. I miss your channel all the time, brother. You and I go way back from the beginning. He and I pretty much started around the same time, I believe. I'll never forget it, man. Those were the days. That was we had a lot of fun doing that and communicated back and forth all the time. And I'll never forget you, man. And you know what, gun enthusiasts. I wish I had them. I wish I had the bag here. I still have and use the ear protectors that I won from your giveaway. Still got them, still use them. I wish I had them here to show them on the show, man. I still got those. All right. Tote says first. Okay, Mike, been enjoying your videos, JW. I've started wearing earplugs the last couple of weeks because there's a Colt Anaconda at the gun store is calling my name. I'm trying to resist. Best wishes from Montana, MH. That is awesome to hear, though. And that's why I'm so happy that Colt brought out these snake guns and everything, because now it gives all of us a chance to go out, get one for a reasonable price. I'm not saying a cheap price, but a reasonable price, so we can all enjoy it and everything. I couldn't have been more tickled pink about that new blue Python. I just love it, and my favorite thing about it is we all have a chance to get one now, and they're great. I mean, they're not at all dramatically different from the old ones. And with people like Olaf there at Deer Hollow Grips, you can purchase the best. I think I'm not trying to just rant and rave about it, but I'm really seriously when I mean this. Deer Hollow Grips, that fella Olaf out there in Tennessee, has made the best, hands down, reproduction Python grips on the market, no doubt. So if you're looking for that exact replica, I have no problem saying don't even waste your money on anything else. Just check him out. Also, I wanted to add, because I just talked to him again on the phone. Really, really cool dude, down to earth. If there's something you're interested in, because he's right now he's behind stock. He's sold out because it's just that speaks for his product, and because keep in mind the Python, it being back out on the market now. Ever since then, I'm sure he's had problems keeping it in stock. Obviously, because it's not in stock. But get on that email list, that thing that says email you when it's back in stock. because it does work. He does do it. I did it myself, but the thing ran out of stock before I could get to it, or before I really could scrape together some of the funds to buy it. Excuse me. But that is how he gauges what to make. Keep in mind, he's one-man operation. He's doing all this single-handedly. So his product is worth the wait. Just get on there, be patient. Check your email when it comes around. Here I am saying that. Yeah, I mean, I'm such a high-tech person. But doing that, at least getting in there, doing that, gives him an idea what he needs to make, what the demand is, what people want. So that being said, at least if you enter your email, even if you're not checking your email, just go to his website and select the grip that you're interested in, and just keep checking it that way. As soon as they pop up, from my experience, when I see them pop up, he's only got a few of them on there, so snag them up when they come. But that is actually what he told me. That's the best way to get them, and that way he knows what is in demand out there. Okay, Sean Lee says, "Morning, Bat Jack. You definitely know some old school horror. I'm an action and martial arts movie guy myself. Started with Bruce Lee movies. Went from there. Actually, I have a picture on my wall of me and my buddy at his grave up in Seattle from 31 years ago. Appreciate the show as usual." That's pretty cool, Sean. Yeah, I've always been interested in the old school horror because, for me, that was. I remember when I saw. I didn't even know which one it was. Looking back now, it was. I believe it was at the time. I didn't know what it was. It was number 7, part 7 of Friday the 13th, where Kane Hodder donned the hockey mask for the very first time. And I just got hooked. This was Joe Bob Briggs' Monster Vision and all that. Again, back to the VHS tape era. It was so cool because the cover art of horror movies were just so cool and just so alluring to me. When I would go through the videotape stores, especially the mom and pop ones are the best. I mean, of course, Blockbuster and all that. But when you scoured through and you saw all these amazing tapes and different ones you could rent, man, I tell you, when I was living in Colorado, I would just go to any of the videotape rental stores and all that. So good times. But yeah, that's my thing. I love the horror, the 80s, the 70s, and all those horror, mostly the 80s stuff, just because that was kind of more what I saw a lot. That was kind of right around my generation where I was seeing all that stuff. So, because I guess I'm a product of the 80s in a sense. Joe P here. Serious farmer tan, JW. Guess you were out shooting with I Carry One. I wish. I'm trying to get the old guy out and have some fun. I miss him. I miss hanging out with him. So, we'll show him some love. Get him. I gotta get him back out, and get him in a video. That's what I need to do, and we're gonna do that. So he's a near dear friend of mine. All right, love Pet Cemetery 2, but nothing touches the original Fred Gwynn. That's him. That's the Herman Munster guy. Yeah. I guess I missed my farmer's tan coming as an island boy. I guess everybody out there has a farmer's tan of some sort, or a tan in a sense. All right, I like to say, I like to put it this way, Joe. I like to get Roy Scheidered. All right, I still have the Jaws 2 poster. It's just out in the back area there, which we need to clean that area up and get back to doing some videos out there. But now that it's warming up, it's not so cold out there. All right, Eric says new pythons look cool. I don't like that they make a revolver called the Cobra, which has nothing in common with the traditional Cobra. Other than being in 38 Special. They need to do what they did with the Python with all other old models. The problem with these companies is they have people on the top that have a profit above all else motive. Yeah, I agree. They definitely need to stick with tradition if they are going to go with that, which seems to be their kind of their motto, is tradition. I wish they would kind of they're hitting it good with the snake guns. They do need to kind of continue on to that. So even though I've heard rumors of like why they wouldn't, which I don't know is true, or I guess it makes somewhat sense. Maybe that's what the Cobra is kind of taking the place of. But I would love to see them redo the blued Diamondback. I know that's wishful thinking, but I would love to see a reproduction of the blued Diamondback. So with tradition, like I've spoke about this in previous comments. I like I said, I really wish they hadn't added that third rib on the 4-inch barrel. To me, that's a critique worth mentioning. That's actually a critique that I feel is worth griping about, because that is kind of silly and stupid. Because that, the stainless model 4-inch has the standard 2-inch or 2 ribs for that 4-inch barrel length. That's actually worth mentioning. The gap in front of the trigger where it meets the frame is absolutely stupid critique to make, because that makes that, now you're just picking it apart for absolutely no reason other than, maybe you're just upset. I don't know that they're out again. People can get them. I don't know. But going back to the rib thing, I actually am thinking, is it really a killer for me? No. I'm going to say it's not completely ruining my desire to maybe want to pick one up. I'm actually, there's a sliver of hope that I'm hoping that they're going to correct that and actually make it with the 2. Because I think maybe Colt has listened to the market. They ought to. Maybe everybody go over there to their channel. They do have a channel. Justin Baldini is one of their, I guess, director guys over there. Flood that channel with that comment. What the heck are you guys doing with that third rib, squeezing it into a 4-inch gun? The 4-inch barrel. Keep with tradition. That's what you want. I want to see them produce reproductions of the old 1911s. World War I reproduction, World War II reproduction, the commercial guns that were in between all that. Pump those things out. Get with the original roll marks. Look at that. You want heritage, you want people to look at your product, get those things out there. Get them on the market. Flood the market out with them so that anybody can go out there and pick one up for a decent price. And get these 1911s out there for under $1,000, for Pete's sakes. Come on. It's not that hard to do. If other companies like T-Sauce and stuff are being able to pump out 1911s for that sweet zone of $400 or $500, come on, Colt. You can do better, and you can put your name out there and put those type of firearms out there and make them in a big order so that somebody can get, hey, I want a reproduction of that World War II A1 with the original, Parkerized color with that roll marks and everything. You guys can do it. Come on. And I know you can bring it in for under $1,000. That's not asking very much. So, there you go. That's my 2 cents on that for what it's worth. I'll get off the soapbox. Okay. Eli Faust. Hey, Bat. Okay. So, got a few things to talk about. Actually, one of the things before we get into it, check this out. I just picked this up. KL Studios has been knocking things out of the park with releasing cool old stuff. Every time I go to the record store, I always check the section of Kino Lorber because their releasings is just awesome. They just re-released a Blu-ray version of Rent-A-Cop. Burt Reynolds, Liza Minnelli. One of my favorite Burt films. Maybe other people just, maybe not like it, but I think this is one of those overshadowed, forgotten Burt films that's really funny. It's really good. I like this one a lot. I'm glad that I saw it. It got re-released, and I said, wow, that's cool, because I have not a VHS, but an older DVD copy of it. And I keep those, by the way. I don't get rid of them even when they do this. I always keep my old copies. I don't care. I'm a hoarder of physical media. So, but this is cool, and the picture quality looks really good. So this was, to my knowledge, just put out because I just saw a window of it, so I picked this up without even thinking about it. And of course, you got James Remar in it, the ultimate 80s bad guy. So this is a really cool movie. I definitely like this one. This one falls in that line. You know, it's like you got Sharky's Machine, Rent-A-Cop, Stick. Those are just some really cool, Malone, all those action movies that he did, that he really shows you that Burt Reynolds, man, the guy could make you laugh with things like Hooper, which I always liked Hooper. Hooper was one of my favorites. I like actually Hooper better than I like Smokey and the Bandit and all that. I actually like Hooper, Cannonball Run. Those are kind of my, you know, if he's going to do the comedy bit. But man, when he did these action movies, some of them were funny and a little bit of hints of funniness in it. Say like Stick or this one. But man, when you see something like Malone or Sharky's Machine, man, how serious those are. It really shows you the guy's a heck of an actor. It was just awesome. I miss Burt. But cool release there. That's awesome. Just figure I'd throw that out in case anybody else out there is a Burt fan like me. The KL Studios just popped this one out. So really awesome. That's a really cool buy. Okay. Talking about back onto the revolver stuff, because my buddy and I were doing a lot of shooting with it and obviously loading. Did a couple different things that we were doing. And I'm going to share a couple of things that I didn't like that I saw. And of course, this is also kind of dabbling around in the books. Anybody that's hand loading, I don't know why nobody that I've met people that hand load that are so ill-informed and don't even have a hard book, like an actual recipe book. Shocking. Anyway, I have old books. I always look for the older books and, of course, get the newer books. But the reason I keep the older books is because I like to cross-reference things. I can't help this also, but I was taught reloading by an older gentleman. Very old school. That's who taught me reloading. So all the stuff I use, powders wise, I've never kept up with the newer powders because I don't really never use them, because I always use the old school stuff because that's what the fella that taught me was old school. So when you see books like this and you look at the this, and I'm going to actually kind of go through this a little bit with you. You go to the section. This is a Hornady this is a Hornady Handbook, Pistol Rifle Volume 2. When was this printed? This has a printing date of June 1973. Go to the section of 38 Special, and you have powders listed here. Let's just go to the 158 grain hollow point. I guess it wouldn't matter if it was Full Metal Jacket or hollow point, would be my guess, because they don't list any of the other ones. You got, I'm assuming this is Winchester 230, or I don't know, maybe it's not 231. That's what I was thinking of. But anyway, they're listed here. 230 Bullseye P5066 Unique. Unique is in bold because obviously that is the more favored and accurate powder charge. AL8. I'm not familiar with that. 630 and 2400. Of course, obviously Elmer Keith. And then further down here, you got other ones listed for wad cutters. Bullseye, Red Dot. That's another reason why I kind of like these books, because Red Dot is listed. Now here's where it is here. 158 grain round nose. That to me looks like a lead bullet because you can see the lube grooves right there. It says also at the bottom, these loads may be used with 38 caliber 158 grain semi wad cutter. The chart for Red Dot actually jumps it all the way. You can go up to 5.6 on the red, and that's the max velocity, and you're getting 1,050 on the feet per second on that. You can dabble around in the 5.3. Middle of the road is probably around the 4.2 and stuff like that. I started actually dropping mine to about a 3.5, which is kind of 3.5, 3.6 area, which is kind of on the lower spectrum. That's because was shooting mostly cast lead. You go into the Lyman 3rd edition handbook. This is the one I picked up. This is the most modern book I got. I picked that pistol and revolver because I don't really load any rifle. it doesn't even list red dot in this thing. Yeah, it's well, it does here on the wad cutter, double-ended wad cutter. You can use red dot. 90 grain bullet, you can use red dot. But everything else, it for the 158 grain or the 100 and other, you know, the little bit heavier, like here's the 158 grain jacket of hollow point. Clay's unique, AA5. Power pistol, SR 4756 True Blue N350 HS6 Blue Dot 2400. Not even a mention of red dot. So it's kind of interesting. You know, you go jump back and forth. I'm wondering what they have found or what they're doing here. So interesting to jump back and forth. Anyway, so we have been kind of jumbling around in there with powder charges and loads. Original bullet we started shooting, which is a Molly coated 158 grain round nose flat point bullet. This is the Molly coated stuff. I believe this is a Bear Creek bullet. If you're going to shoot these, I would go a really low charge, because we have found that with about a 4 point so grain charge with red dot, these have smeared a lot of lead off, or well, I don't know, this Molly stuff off around the forcing cone and the top strap of the revolver inside the frame. That is absolutely the pits to get rid of. We can't seem to get that stuff off. It is really, in a way, put some nasty smearing all over the inside of the revolver. So pretty much, if I'm gonna shoot any of this, I'm gonna shoot a low powder charge, way below that. Which I've never. That's just interesting. I never had that experience with that before. And it wasn't just with my gun, it was his as well. We did manage to dissipate quite a bit of it by shooting some jacketed 357s out of our guns to kind of just maybe displace that. We did use some pretty harsh solvents on it, trying to get rid of it. It didn't work. I did use the Wilson Combat cleaners, didn't work. I actually used the Montana Extreme lead and powder remover. That's literally for that, which that stuff is so potent that, you know, definitely in a ventilated room with that, that didn't work. So just be leery of that. Did run some of these Hornady Classic loads. You probably recognize that. That's the 158 grain lead round nose. That's the Classic 38 Special right there. Did run some of that lower powder charge for just the sake of that. Did see some leading and around the forcing cone and stuff like that. So if you are running the Python, here's my word of caution, because the space between the front of the cylinder and the forcing cone is really narrow. There's hardly anything. I mean, I don't even know if you can slip a piece of paper through there. I just didn't notice that compared to a Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson's got a little bit more play there. So that being said, if that gets leaded up, you might have the cylinder kind of seizing up on you. So keep that in mind. Overall, my final conclusion with this stuff is I'm not going to shoot any more cast lead or Molly through my Python. I am only going to stick with the full metal jackets. A lot of you probably out there are saying, duh, I would have been doing that from the beginning. But I have been shooting so much lead, cast lead, out of my revolvers for so many years that I just, you know, never really thought about that. But that is something that I discovered right there. So keep that in mind. I did just switch over now to the jacketed stuff, and that's pretty much all I'm going to run, at least in the Python, for that. So if you do have a Python, keep that in mind about the lead and everything. So just be cautious of that. Speed loaders that I found on the market, of course, they're getting kind of scarce because, as usual, I'm late to the show as the Python comes out. You know, everything, I'm sure any accessories for it, you know, as we saw with the Deer Hollow grips, holsters, speed loaders, any of that kind of stuff is going to dry up or be kind of on the grabs. I ended up managing to get some Safariland. I think these are the Auto Comp speed loader. The reason I got these is because you can't help but watch Magnum Force and watch David Saul use, I'm pretty sure he's using probably something like this, because he just kind of pushes it down and just kind of chucks it aside. And that's how these work. They go in and you just push. The center right here, that matches up with the star on the cylinder, and then that releases the shells, and then it disperses them, and then you just kind of get rid of them. The other thing I did try, which is the HKS 586 speed loaders. They seem to work. So if you are in the market trying to look for them, I do know that HKS does make Python speed loaders, but I ended up coming across a couple of HKS 586 Smith speed loaders. They do work. At least they seem to work so far for me in what I've experienced. Do the Deer Hollow grips accommodate the speed loader? I did hear that the first generation ones with the full checkering on it, you might have a little bit of trouble. The ones I've got is the third generation 73 to 78 one model, which I'm sure is the same as the next one, which is the third later generation, which is 78 to 80, mid 80s grips. I'm assuming they're the same identical ones. They do work. It takes a little bit more finesse to kind of line it up, but you will get a little bit of rubbing on your grip on the side there. So if you're okay with that, then run with it, go for it. I'm okay with it because I bought the grips to enjoy it and shoot it. I'm not abusing the gun and grips, but I'm also using it. I'm definitely going to run it at the range and enjoy it. That's what it's made for, so I'm definitely doing that. So anyway, that's all my news on the loads and things that I've experienced. I wanted to share with you. So if you hopefully you enjoyed the show, I'm going to get out of here, and you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And those of you that literally are still here at coming up on 32 minutes, this next bit is for you.